Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is the Kaiser Report. Kaiser's on the couch right there, listening and sleeping. We've had a big morning, and we're late this afternoon getting back to you all because I was spending some time at the hospital pre-registering for some knee surgery that I'll be having on the 9th and 10th of this month. And but we'll keep you abreast of all the changes and the recovery from our home base rather than the studio here because of some stairs that are involved. So Kaiser and I will be with you from home. He's going to take care of me, and as he has in the past. And he's a great friend and a good buddy. But we'll keep you posted on that. But until then, there's a lot of things to talk about here. And, of course, our visit to Stupid Town toward the end of this broadcast today. It's Wednesday here in East Tennessee. We had a very rainy morning, but it was a well-needed drench of rain for everything that is a little low in the aquifers right now due to the fact we've had a very dry summer. So that was a welcome rain. It is cleared now and looks like we'll have a nice evening. And I'm looking forward to a beautiful sunset tonight. And we'll bring you some more of that as we broadcast from the house on the farm in this upcoming next few weeks that after the surgery. So stay tuned for that. Details are coming out about the Minnesota school shooter, or church shooter, as you may want to call it. And there's more information to be determined. I guess they did get a hold of the mother and father. The estranged father had some things to say. We'll show you a little small clip here of what we have on that today. But the mother has hired an attorney and feels that she is going to be prosecuted, obviously. That's why she's hired with the help probably from Tampon Tim, got somebody that is an expert in defense of the shooter's mother. Take a look here.
All right, we're learning shocking new details about the trans school shooter in Minneapolis, what police found at the home, and what the gunman's dad said happened shortly before the attack. Fox's Brooke Taylor has been digging into this story, and she joins us live from Minneapolis. Brooke.
Hi, Jason. Well, we're now learning from police that they have spoken with the shooter's mother after initially saying that they couldn't get into touch with her and that she hasn't been cooperating. It's not clear exactly what that conversation entailed, but I have learned that she decided to hire a criminal defense attorney. I spoke to that criminal defense attorney. I asked why his client hired him. He told me, quote, she is completely distraught about the situation and has no culpability. Now, police have not said whether any family members potentially face charges. A new search warrant, meanwhile, reveals the shooter, 23-year-old Robin Westman, left a car at the scene, which was registered to his father. That father told officials the shooter was with a romantic partner. They were living together, recently broke up, so he moved out of that home and was living with a friend. Police searched Westman's father's house here in Minneapolis. They found a tactical vest, 2 computer drives, and documents according to that warrant. Westman's father told police that his child once attended Annunciation Catholic School where this happened and the church, and that his ex-wife had also once worked here. The warrant states police found the shooter dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, wearing black tactical gear and carrying at least 2 long guns. The 2 young children who died have been identified by family as 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel, whose father said the young boy loved his family, friends, fishing, and all sports, and 10-year-old Harper Moisky, whose family said, quote, her laughter, kindness, and spirit touched everyone who knew her. Hundreds of people in this community have been showing up to pay their respects to these families. 18 others were injured, and tonight we're told that 6 are still in the hospital, 5 of them just young, innocent children. Jason.
Brooke. Thank you. Tough, difficult, tragic story. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm hoping that it all comes out in the wash and we decide to do something about the mental illness that is taking place in and around not only the trans community, but this entire country. And if you want to include the rest of the world, you can do that. Just take a look at what's going on in the UK today, and you'll be convinced that we're not the only ones with problems here with immigration. And this is where it started, and this is what's being cleaned up, and why the Democratic Party has decided to take the side of the illegal immigrants and the criminal element is beyond my understanding. And if you have an understanding to that, please, in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are. It would be interesting to see what other people are thinking and feeling about that. But brings us over to MSNBC, soon to be MS something now, I guess. And Gumby, morning jackass, Gumby Head, stunned his viewers yesterday with a call for partnership between Donald Trump and the Illinois governor and mayor of Chicago. I know, aren't you shocked? I certainly was. It was unbelievable to hear his turn on what should be. Let's take a look here.
Concern is you have leaders in Chicago that see this, as you say. We've been reading about this for years now, every weekend, and maybe crime has gone down. But, you know, we had the mayor of Chicago on last week saying, oh, we don't need any more police officers. Police officers aren't the answer. No police officers.
Oh, snap.
You know, I think he said no 5 times. You look what's happening this weekend. You look so, you know, I actually think that J.B. Pritzker should do something radical.
Oh, okay.
I think he should pick up the phone, call the president, and say, you know and I know you don't have the constitutional authority to deploy the National Guard here and to police my. You can do that in D.C. You can't do that in Chicago.
Why not? Come on in.
But let's partner up. These are the most dangerous parts of my state. We would love to figure out how to have a partnership that's constitutional, that respects the sort of balance of federalism between the federal government and the state government.
Hey.
And let's work together to save lives. Because right now, just hey, nothing to see here moving along. No problem here. Hey, Donald Trump, we don't need you. And, you know, the mayor talking about we're going to protect people's dignity in our city. Well, protect their lives. That's protecting their dignity. You know, it would be radical for us to figure out a way to actually do what I've been saying from the very beginning on Washington, and that is seeing politicians creating partnerships that protect their people.
Why not?
Gumby will never cease to amaze me. He and Mika go out of their way to just illuminate the world on what it was, what it had been, and what they would like it to be. There's no news there. There's commentary, there's lies, and there is non-factual information being imparted on the public daily. Every morning jackass show is full of it. And then you want to talk about stunning things that take place. You have J.D. Vance stunned a reporter and gave her some lessons on gerrymandering that they were not expecting. Take a look here.
I want to turn to the rare mid-decade change to the congressional maps.
Sure.
Have you spoken about this with
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, or Missouri's Mike Kehoe, or Ohio's Mike DeWine? And what if the GOP doesn't end up netting any seats at all because of Governor Newsom?
Well, I haven't talked to Governor DeSantis about it, though I think that he's doing a good job and he's doing the right thing in Florida, not just on the redistricting question, but he's been a very effective governor in a whole host of ways. I haven't talked to Mike DeWine recently about the redistricting fight, and you mentioned another governor.
Kehoe of Missouri.
No, I haven't talked to Governor Kehoe either. But look, all these guys, we've talked to officials in all of these places, and I think everybody understands pretty much where the White House is, which there's a fundamental question of fairness. For 10, 20, 30 years, the Democrats have aggressively gerrymandered their states. I mean, look to Massachusetts. Every year in Massachusetts, yes, it's a blue state, but about 1/3 of voters in Massachusetts vote for a Republican congressional candidate. Massachusetts has 0 Republicans. Illinois, by some measures, a very massive state, yes, a Democrat state, is the most gerrymandered state in the entire country. And then California, where Governor Newsom is threatening to gerrymander it even more, actually is already one of the worst gerrymandered states in the country. California is massive. California has millions upon millions of Republican voters every single cycle. Something like 40% of Californians vote for Republicans. 18% of California federal legislators are Republicans. So our basic contention is that Democrats have rigged the game. They've made it so that even when the American people vote for Republicans, they don't necessarily get Republican congressional majorities. And so we're encouraging states like Indiana, like Missouri, like Florida to go in the other direction and to actually counterbalance that Democratic unfairness with Republicans playing a little bit of hardball. We think a lot of Republicans are gonna do what we think is right. And we do think that on balance, this is ultimately going to make American elections much more fair and much more credible to the American voter.
Well, that takes us into our hearing situation in Congress, where Bernie was ruling the roost on this hearing about books that are being taught to your very, very young that are in schools. And Bernie was called out for being a socialist, self-admitted socialist and communist. And several people that were being questioned there had no answers or did not want to answer the question being put forth by a senator that was asking the questions. Take a look here.
My name is Bernie Sanders. I was born September 8th, 1941 in Brooklyn, New York. My dad, Eli, came to America from Poland, as did the parents of my mother, Dorothy. The rest, who stayed behind, were killed by socialists, National Socialists. My dad ran a small store, and my parents raised me and my older brother, Larry, in a rent-controlled apartment. We didn't have a lot of money, but I did have an imaginary friend. His name was Utopia. A magical creature who distributed resources from each according to his ability and to each according to his need. Utopia comforted me when I lost my first campaign for student body president, coming in third in a 3-way race. I was able to avoid serving my country in Vietnam by going to college. Utopia came with me to college, where I read Karl Marx, joined the Young People's Socialist League, and hung out with communists. Surprisingly, none of that helped prepare me for an actual productive career. After college, I worked in a psychiatric hospital, taught preschool, and wrote articles about women's sexual fantasies. I even produced a short film about a lifelong hero, Eugene Debs, who ran for President of the United States 5 times on the ticket of the American Socialist Party. Welfare and unemployment checks paid my bills during this time, as did 4 of the women I lived with. Though life wasn't easy. My first wife, Deborah, was always on my case about not having a steady working-class job. Moron work, I called it. My girlfriend, Susan, and I had a baby. But Wall Street and greedy corporations rigged the system and made it impossible for me to make a decent living. I finally met Jane. She understood me and shared my commitment to Marxist ideals. After marrying, we thought, where would be the perfect place for a romantic honeymoon? The Soviet Union, of course. It was great. Utopia came with us to make sure we only saw what we wanted to see. Fancy theaters with puppets and chandeliers and subways, not the 20 million who died in famines and gulags and executions. We had such a great time, we decided to visit other communist dictatorships around the world. Nicaragua, where I met the socialist dictator Daniel Ortega, whose revolutionary army seized farms and businesses, and where I was treated in a special way, unlike the 14,000 the Sandinistas tortured, raped, and murdered. Cuba, where the dictator Fidel Castro was so busy fundamentally transforming that country that he unfortunately didn't have time to meet me. I admired Castro since I was a kid and thought it was appropriate that poor people were rising up against rather ugly rich people, seizing private farms and businesses, and creating a mass network of government informants to spy on dissidents. In all these countries, I saw people lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death. I decided to bring some of the policies, like public ownership of the major means of production, to the United States. After moving to Vermont in 1968, I started to run for political office. My platform included a top tax rate of 100%. I insisted that no one should be allowed to earn more than $1 million. I made headlines for speaking truth to power, like telling charity workers that I don't believe in charity, because only the government should provide social services to the needy. Finally, after 2 unsuccessful campaigns, at 53 years of age, I became mayor of Burlington, Vermont in 1981. As a Democratic Socialist, I then became a congressman. And finally, a senator. In all my 24 years in the Congress, I passed 2 bills to name post offices in Vermont. Since I wasn't that busy being an elected representative, I had a lot of time to write books condemning capitalism and laying out my socialist agenda. This record of accomplishment, my disgust with obscene levels of wealth in America, and my lifelong obsession with income inequality led to the obvious conclusion that I must run for President of the United States. With utopia by my side, we gathered a campaign dream team that included envy and victimhood. We rallied against greed, but as the desire for the unearned, greed was really on our side. We promised free health care, free college tuition, and punishing taxes of up to 90% on the super rich. Because we can't just worship millionaires and billionaires and the making of more money. While I narrowly lost the nomination, I decided to run again. And with the example of my hero Eugene Debs, may keep running for a few more times. Someone has to lead the revolution. And the presidential campaign gig has also helped sell my books. That and my nearly 40 years on the government payroll has made me rich. A multimillionaire with 3 houses, including a lakefront vacation home. Hypocrite? No. Prophet? Yes. Future president? Maybe. But while my political future may be in doubt, one thing never is. I control the narrative. I've seized the moral high ground those who believe in capitalism have failed to defend. And while my imaginary friend Utopia may not have found a home in failed socialist regimes around the world, thanks to me, he's alive and well in the imaginations of voters, especially the young, here in the United States of America.
So Bernie doesn't like being called out, and obviously these people from the teachers union didn't like it either, and didn't like the answers that they were asked to give. Well, that'll bring us over, speaking of the Senate, to Chuckles the Clown one more time. This guy is so far past his sell-by date, the milk soured a long time ago, and he's still at it with his pieces of paper that he has to read from because he's too ignorant to make up his own words and say what he really means. He has someone write it for him and then has to read it off a podium, hanging over it as a chicken hawk to try and make a point that he never gets to. Or the points are so far afield from what's really happening, it's ridiculous. But that's Chuckles the Clown. Take a look here.
He cries on cue, he fakes the fight, then sells you out in broad daylight. A swamp rat wrapped in a Gucci fit. Welcome to Crying Chuck's greatest hit.
Well, old Chuckles the Clown waddled onto the Senate floor today with his Trump derangement thicker than a plate of Grandma's gravy. He jumped the gun, talking before he was even recognized.
Let me begin.
The Democrat leader is recognized.
Thank you.
Then drifted off into saying hello to Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Hello?
Hello.
This ain't leadership. It's a high-speed collapse of the Democratic Party. Isn't it wonderful?
Or, how about this headline, also from the Wall Street Journal? Stagnant job market is a rising risk for the U.S. economy.
Your English is amazing.
The White House press secretary, Karen Leavitt.
What was her name again?
Karen Leavitt.
Nope, it's not that.
Because, as it turns out, it's terrible. And it's a terrible name.
Just terrible.
The fact that Donald Trump thinks that Medicaid cuts are beautiful, so Republicans...
What did he say?
So Republicans, are the Republicans going to keep giving the finger to everyone in Washington who wants to seek a common sense, bipartisan governance?
He's lost any edge that he may have had one time, probably 70 years ago, and should not be in the position he is. And what's wrong with the people in New York that would keep putting the likes of him and the others from New York, such as Hakeem Jeffries, and now they want to put a dyed-in-the-wool communist as mayor of the city, and they're all backing him. This is wrong, but the people of New York, wake up, lest you lose your community in its entirety and make New York a third world city that used to be the greatest city in this country. It's almost unbelievable, and that'll bring us into the exit to Stupid Town. Hold on.
Unpopular opinion. If you have a credit card and you hate people who ask for handouts, you are a person asking for a handout. A credit card is somebody else's money. So for all you right-wingers who are all, oh, stop giving people handouts. If you have a credit card, you're a hypocrite. Yeah. Go look in a mirror. Also, if you have ever applied for a loan, you were applying for a handout. So, for all you extremists who are all, stop giving them handouts, Like, did you buy your house flat out? Did you, like, write a check for the full amount for your house's value? No, you did not. You got a loan. You asked for a handout because you couldn't afford a house. The credit system is a handout. And the fact that most of you can't see this. Like, go back to school.
Why do I got to go to work just to get some food stamps? Why y'all, just because I don't have no dependents, I got to work 20 hours just to get some food stamps? Make it make sense. So that means that if I had dependents, or something like that, I can get food stamps. I got to work a certain amount of time to get food stamp, and I'm only getting the bare minimum of that.
Minimum.
Make that make sense. So you telling me that if I don't get 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month, I can't get no stamp? I can't eat? I'm starving. So y'all trying to make me go to work just to get some food stamp. You trying to tell me how long to work, when I can work, just to get some food stamps. All right.
I should have listened to Democrats. They told me I was next. Didn't know that voting for Trump was going to get me deported. So I was listening to Gasolina by Daddy Yankee in my car. And I know. I shouldn't have even turned it on. All of a sudden, 3 ICE showed up in masks. And I was like, I'm not listening to Gasolina. It was a Limp Bizkit song. But they showed me no mercy, and I'm leaving tomorrow.
Well, that was our look at Stupid Town today, and I hope you all had a few chuckles out of that. I know I did. And we're going to be back here tomorrow at a regular time in the morning to get a broadcast out to you and the Kaiser Report show in its entirety, and maybe even a look at what it all means tomorrow. So we wish you all a great hump day this Wednesday, and hope that you have a beautiful, pleasant evening. Enjoy the weather wherever you are, and if you can't enjoy the weather, enjoy sitting at a dinner table with your entire family. Put the cell phones in a basket and sit there and have conversations amongst yourself about what's going on, about what your feelings are, and listen to the feelings of the family members that are at that table as well, because they may have something to enlighten you or an idea that will make your dinner a pleasant one. So God bless you all, and we'll be back here tomorrow, and hopefully Kaiser will stay awake long enough tomorrow to give you a look at that magnificent physique of his. So until tomorrow, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for some more information and a laugh or two as we tour Stupid Town. Bye-bye now. God bless you all.